All right, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to try to get through this lesson pretty quick. I know we're not, I'm not going to try to make it too long. I'm not going to assign any assignment or worksheet or anything like that. So let's get to it real quick. Okay. Oh, I attached a video for you on Gestalt psychology. We didn't get to finish up the principles, so I wanted to attach that for you to check out. All right, real quick bell ringer for today. Not that. All right, describe three historical approaches of psychology that we discussed yesterday in class. Detail pros and cons of each approach. So I'll give you a few seconds. If you want to pause the video, write your response. That'd be cool. Ow. See, I'm not kidding. This cat's terrible. All right, so historical approaches, we talked yesterday. Stop biting me. All right, so we have structuralism with Wilhelm Wundt, the structures of psychology, detailing using introspection and how to make observations. You remember, he was just trying to make some sort of principles or guidelines to psych that we can follow, like the periodic table in chemistry, something like that for psychology. So it's obviously harder to do. We don't have the technology, everything like that, to study the brain and understand how it works, especially down, in the 1870s. Now we have a better understanding of how things work. Okay. So introspection, he's detailing in a laboratory setting and he's trying to find commonalities, a common ground. Ow. See what I'm telling you? This guy doesn't stop. Yeah, leave me alone. All right. So he's trying to find some sort of principles that using introspection with observations and trying to establish um, some sort of common ground. We all know with introspection, there's issues with that because every person has a different experience when presented a stimulus. Functionalism, functions in psychology. All right, so William James in the United States, first psychologist, with respect to study in the U.S., brought out that psychology should be more focused on how we live and adapt in our environment to survive, not just based off of observations and questions of certain stimulus in a laboratory setting. Right? Psychology is much more than that, is what he was trying to describe. Okay. So we need to understand people, right? We need to understand behaviors and observations of people in their natural setting, in their natural um, environment. Okay, finally, Gestalt psychology. We talked about that. That was viewing things as a whole rather than individual parts. Okay, so I give the example of the chair. Okay, obviously we know it's a chair, but there's two arms to it. There's legs. There's wheels on my chair. There's a headrest. Okay. Oh man, I'm sorry. He won't stop. So those were some of the issues. So those were some of the approaches that we talked about yesterday, and pros and cons of each, obviously. Okay, and how it's although it's historical approach, some of them aren't respected really today because of some of the findings with it. Right, some of the, I guess you could say, um, issues with understanding how introspection and individual results and understanding of each approach. All right, so bell ringer, that's what I was looking for. So continue to work on your vocab terms. Okay. Again, don't worry about it towards the end of this week, but maybe next week we'll have a quiz and I will have them do. So continue to work on that. All right, I'm going to make this real quick because you won't stop. Get away from me now. So 6 design principles. Figure and ground, picture up here. Is it a vase or two faces? What do you see? Figure is what's presented to us, and the ground is the background. Similarity is what we try to group things together, okay, with how similar they look. So is it in this picture? Okay, white, black, white, black, white, black in columns. Okay, obviously they're the same in columns. Or rows, all white, all black rows, all white, all black rows. Depends how you view it. Depends how you look at it. Again, right? Introspections depend who you're asking. Proximity, right? So how close objects are together, how we group things together depending on how close they're related. So in this picture, looks kind of like they're all represented in a cube and a square. Okay, and this one over here, we might look at it as two column or three columns, sorry. Okay, with two and two, right? Two, two, and two. Closure. This picture over here. Although the triangle is not filled in, we understand that, hey, this is a triangle. It doesn't have a boundary to it like the one behind it, but we know that this is supposed to be a triangle, along with the triangle below it. Okay, although it's broken, we all know that that should be a triangle. Circles right up here as well, although they're cut into it, kind of looks like Pac-Man, right? We know that they're supposed to be circles. So our closure is understanding, even though that those boundaries, those distinctions aren't there, we can make sense of that object, of that shape. Continuity. Okay, these lines here, right? So we know with these lines, a straight line continues on and on and on. Okay, but with the different colors, kind of jives with our perception of whether or not this is a continuation of a line. Okay, obviously, it comes down here and like, wait, it juts this way? What? And the same thing down here. Doesn't make any sense. But with continuity, if these colors were the same, like if this was gray the whole way through, we would think that this is the straight line, that this is the continuation of the line, along with this bent line as well. Okay, maybe it's going to come down and go through. If they were the same color, we would see the continuation. Order, the Olympic symbols, okay, all in specific, perfect order with the circles and how they're cut into one another. All right, real quick, behaviorism. I want to talk a lot. I'll probably talk about this more on Wednesday when we get back to school. Okay, how behavior is designed on how we react to certain situations. Okay, especially if we're giving any type of reinforcement or if we're giving any type of positive punishment, positive reinforcement, whatever it might be. Okay, and behaviorism with Watson especially, and um, we'll talk about B.F. Skinner and how he trained rats to be fed, be shocked, okay, to try to push them to one edge of the cage to react to a certain stimulus, whether they're being fed a positive reinforcement, right? Or if they're being shocked as a punishment, okay, because they're receiving something, right? It would be a form of negative reinforcement, okay. I guess you could call it negative, thinking or a stern look, right? Predicting our behavior. Finally, psychoanalysis. Okay, we're going to talk about Sigmund Freud a lot towards the end of this chapter, a little bit more when we get to chapter 5 and his unconscious mind, iceberg method. We'll discuss this a little bit more and how unconscious drives fuel us. All right, although we don't think about it, this is actually what is driving our everyday actions, our personality. Okay, and he details that with an iceberg, which I'll talk a little bit more when we come back. Okay. All right. Take care, guys. That's all I got. Sorry about the cat attacking me. I don't, like I said, he's the devil. See you guys later. Take care.